today I have with me Mr. M R Rao, the MD and CEO of Bharat Financial Inclusion, and we will have a chat with him on the entire, not just the growth strategy, but also Mr. M R Rao on what is this that you have launched and how will it in fact benefit Bharat Financial Inclusion in the entire journey towards not just a cashless society, but also towards growing your book from here on.
So Poonam, as you've noticed, what we are doing is this whole process not only addresses the whole efficiency piece, which we'll get into later, but it also addresses the risk piece. Earlier we were dependent on papers and people used to submit paper-based KYCs. Today, with her fingerprint, we are actually authenticate from none other than Aadhar itself that the woman's identity is established, and you shall see it in the tablet. So there is a risk element that is covered. Then we are eliminating the whole paperwork of 10 signatures on papers by taking her e-signature. Online, right in front of her, we are getting a credit bureau check done, and we know the status of her borrowing from the past, and we are able to communicate whether loan is approved instantly at that point in time. More importantly, we are disbursing the loan amount directly into her bank account rather than handing over the cash.
Is there an internal calculation that you have made in terms of the cost to income ratio or the benefits to the bottom line?
We expect the cost to income ratio to fall down in a couple of years to much less than 40%.
Okay.
We don't have a precise number because these numbers have to translate into efficiencies, new customer acquisition, and so on and so forth. So over a period of time, we think it should be anywhere between 35 to 40% and more closer to 35 rather than 40 over a period of time. But that's not going to translate immediately.
If I look at the entire backdrop, just the third quarter results, it was an interesting backdrop, both on account of note ban and also on account of the kind of political interference that we saw both in Maharashtra as well as the UP state. We're seeing that your AUM in fact has come down by 6%, your disbursements have down by nearly 25% quarter on quarter. How do you see, what has been your experience in terms of customer behavior on account of note ban?
That's an interesting question. If you look at the intent of the borrower, minus any external influences, the borrower wants to repay us. That is reflected in the fact that in states like Orissa, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, the repayment is close to 99 or 99.5%, which we are used to.
Right.
The one or the delay in payment is on account of women not having the cash because of demonetization.
Right.
But if you see states like UP and Maharashtra where there's been a bigger impact on collections, it is on account of local elections and local influences which are preventing this interaction with the borrowers happening.
Right.
We anticipate that post these elections, situation will come back to normal. Yes, there have been defaults. It's going to take a couple of quarters for that defaults to get regularized. There will be marginal hit to the write-off. It could go up marginally. It's difficult to predict what would be the number. But we see that our growth of 40-50% for next year, we are very confident of meeting those growth. We have never contemplated becoming a universal bank, and we didn't apply when that window was open. We did apply for an SFB license. The window is not open yet, and we expect that it might not open in this year at least. We are not doing securitization with Indusind. We have become their business correspondent for 100 branches.
Right.
All the business in these 100 branches is booked in the books of Indusind bank. You know, when we are dealing with so many partners, on the banking side, lending side, we have a lot of banking relationships. On the cross-sell side, you know, we're doing cycles, motorcycles, solar, sewing machines, water purifiers. At any given point of time, somebody or the other is coming and talking to us and saying, can we take this relationship to a next level? Can there be a strategic partnership? These discussions keep happening with banks as well as these things. So in a sense, it's par for the course.
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
I will stick my neck out here, sir. Tell me something. Have you got any proposal from Indusind Bank? At any point in time, has Indusind Bank approached Bharat Financial?
Approached in what sense? We keep meeting them almost.
Approach in terms of a long-term relationship, approach in terms of a merger.
That discussions keep happening. Not in terms of, as you try, I can't stick my neck out on that. But not in terms of this merger that you're talking about. But there is always a discussion, how can we take this to the next level? So it could be, can we open more branches under the BC route?
I see.
Can we have a larger strategic tie-up and stuff like that? So that is the level of discussions we keep having. And Indusind is a very important funding side partner
Right.
for us. They are a big bank. And obviously, if there is something that our board has to weigh in on that.
Okay. So, would you still want to agree to the news, or would you still want to disagree to the news at this point in time?
I would not want to react to any speculation.
Are your shareholders more keen to remain a pure play MFI, or are your shareholders more keen to possibly look at a possibility of a merger with another bank?
So, this proposal has not come, so this is just a speculation. But investors also are reacting.
Right.
A sizable portion of the investors think ultimately for an NBFC, MFI or any NBFC, the destination point is to become a bank.
Right.
So, their feedback is that if there's something happening, if the destination point is closer, try to go for it.
Okay.
Some investors have come into this company purely because they see a value in a pure play MFI where your return on assets and return on equity are higher.
Right.
So, the feedback from them is, listen, be continue to be an MFI player. You could look at the possibility of conversion or
Right.
whatever it is later. But all of them universally agree that eventually, if not now, medium term, short term, long term, you have to become
So,
a bank.
becoming a bank is the
Yeah.
eventual evolution of a pure play MFI.
And what also the investors are saying is, you don't need to bend backwards for this whole
Right.
exercise. You guys are doing well. You are focusing on the right position. So, the deal has to be really good, if at all there is a deal for
Okay.
you to consider.
Okay, that's interesting. So, the deal at
This
the
is
current.
investor feedback, okay?
I understand.
Yeah.
And as an investor feedback, again hypothetically, at this price, are your investors, or what is the investor feedback at this price?
See, we have not got into a discussion as what should be the price and stuff
Sure.
like that, because the whole situation is hypothetical. It's a
Right.
speculation.
Right.
So, what is the point in talking what should be the price and so on and so forth?
Understand.
What their broad guidance is, they're saying, listen, given your reach, network and stuff like that, you guys should command a good premium.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.